Okay, I'd like to talk to you about the work for the Dole Scheme that exists here in Australia and Centrelink. Now, if you're on the Dole and that you're being considered as a long-term unemployed in Australia, if in a certain period of time you've worked or been out of work, as the case may be, for a period of time of up to say 6 months or more, by law, under the current legislation of the Social Security Act 1991 and the subsequent Amendment Act, people who are on New Start allowance here in Australia have to do a pre-employment scheme which is called Work for the Dole Scheme. Now, basically, people who do things like that are either A, people who are serving community fines to therefore must serve community service of up to 200 hours for a certain period of time, or people who are considered as mentally disabled or disabled by some means and have to do some form of rehabilitation. Thirdly, New Start allowance long-term unemployed who are not considered employable for some bizarre reason. Now, I've been sort of like left out on the lurch for a while. I'm a postgraduate from the University of Queensland. I have a Bachelor of Arts degree from way back when. I haven't been able to use it, unfortunately. And unfortunately, because you're considered as a long-term unemployed, you have to go down to the lowest common denominator in Australian society, whereby you do what they call work for the Dole Scheme, which is like voluntary work. And I've had to work in, say, Lifeline, and the treatment of people working for an organization such as Lifeline is completely demeaning and humiliating, and it completely devalues your self-esteem. And in fact, it is just as a criminal, he has to serve time to society. You have a debt to society, and you have to do things like work for the dole. I find it, in terms of self-esteem, completely demeaning. And insofar as character assassination is concerned, insofar as embellishing somebody's character or demeaning it to the most lowest level, the Australian Centrelink Work for the Dole scheme succeeds in that objective, which is complete and utter character assassination. I would not subscribe to the scheme, and insofar as somebody who endeavours to better himself in this world, insofar as seeking educational and meritocratic objectives in their lives, and if you're being left out of the labour market for a period of time, either because somebody had decided that you're going to be blacklisted, either by institutional exclusion, by whatever form, we have to tolerate the institutional coercive public policy for public policy decision-making processes by people who are the purveyors of power, and thus we have to comply. Otherwise, we are punitively dealt with, and the punitive justice is the loss of the minimum income for for a person who is not in gainful employment, which is of course the dole. You will lose a portion, if not the entire dole, if you do not do work for the dole, which is synonymous to being considered as an indentured slave. That is the ultimate decommodification of labour, if you ever did so. And as a Labour person, as a subscriber for social consciousness and social justice, you'll feel so insulted and offended by such an institutional structure and organisations such as the work for the Dole Scheme here in Brisbane, Australia, and Australia ipso facto. Have a good day, everybody. Ya manuia tātou. Ya, hello whai, kaka, ai valea. Go to school.